into the atmosphere. So they increase the greenhouse effect. Next is farming. Now farming, nitrous oxide is one of the greenhouse gas that is used in fertilizers and contributes the greenhouse effect, which in turn leads to global warming. So keep in mind, nitrous oxide is one of the greenhouse gas, and which is where it is used in fertilizers, and they also help in creating greenhouse effect. Next, children, is industrial waste and landfills. Now, industrial wastes are those with the waste which are released from the factories, industries, etc. So, the industries like cement production, fertilizers, coal mining activities, oil extraction, they produce harmful greenhouse gases. And what are landfills? Now, landfills are a site for disposal of waste materials. Okay, and how do we dispose the waste materials? By burying it in the soil. So filled with garbage, landfills which are filled with garbage, okay, what do? They produce carbon dioxide and methane gas, and they add into the greenhouse effect. Now, what is global warming? That's what I've just now told you, that when there is the increase in the average temperature of the earth, okay, it is called global warming. So you can see global warming stands for gradual increase in the temperature of earth's surface, or in simple terms it means climate change. So this is, see over here, the indicators of global warming has been shown. So these are the 10 indicators of global warming world. How do we come to know that the global warming has taken place? First of all, the temperature of the land rises up. Then you'll find the glaciers and the snow cover melting. As they melt, the level of the sea rises up. You'll see the heat content on the oceans also rises up. The temperature over the oceans is also risen up. You'll find the humidity, a lot of humidity in the atmosphere. Okay, what is humidity? The amount of water vapor present in the air. Then the sea surface temperature also rises, and you'll see the sea ice also starts melting. Okay, they start melting. Now here we have the causes of global warming. So what are the causes of global warming? First of all, man-induced deforestation. It's the human who has been cutting down the trees and plants to make land available for cultivation, construction of houses, and for using wood resources. So you'll find that deforestation for development or economic gains means to earn money, has adverse effects on climate. Adverse means has worst effect on climate. For example, charcoal and wood used as fuel pollutes the gases present in the atmosphere. So when you burn charcoal or wood, they pollute their gas, they pollute the atmosphere. Then similarly, consumer commodities provided by forestry includes paper and lumber. So loss of a forest results in a chain reaction where too much carbon is released into the air with not enough oxygen to combat it. Combat means to balance it. If there's a lot of carbon dioxide is released and less number of oxygen is there in the atmosphere, so what will happen? So obviously the air will be warmed. It will not be balanced by the oxygen, which is indirectly which is given to us by trees and plants. Now fossil fuels also, they contribute a lot to global warming. So because of the increase in vehicles, okay, then use of electricity, right? So because of use of vehicles as well as electricity, many gases are emitted into the air. Okay, even the fossil fuels are burnt. We get for the vehicles as well as for the electricity, fossil fuels are burnt. So they release out carbon dioxide gas, which causes global warming. Excessive release of carbon dioxide causes global warming. Then landfills also, obviously when we throw garbage out in the atmosphere, into the house, outside the house and all, then you'll find that garbage is burnt, and when the garbage is burnt, it releases toxic gases like methane into the atmosphere. Toxic means poisonous gases, and enormous amount means large amounts of toxic greenhouse gases when released into the atmosphere increase global warming. Then overpopulation. What is overpopulation? Excessive population. That means when the resources are less, there are less supply of water, food, electricity, etc., and the population is more than required. Then what happens? The more number of people demand more oil, gas, and other fuels. So indirectly, what do? The fuels are excessively used and they release a lot of carbon dioxide in the air, right, and warm the atmosphere. Then mining is also one of the reason. Mining, say oil and coal are the two culprits in producing greenhouse gases. Culprits means these are the two villains to produce greenhouse gases. Like methane, in like carbon dioxide, creates a thick shield over the atmosphere trapping the sun rays. With continued mining operations, these harmful gases will only increase, right? Then fertilizer use is find that nitrous oxide, as we read, this is just a repetition of what we have already read. It's dangerous than carbon dioxide. It's a 300 times more dangerous than carbon dioxide. So use of fertilizers is one of the leading causes of global warming, right? Next we have causes of ozone layer depletion. What is ozone layer depletion? It's one of the serious problems faced by planet Earth, and the reason for it is global warming. So what is ozone? Ozone is a colorless gas which is found in the stratosphere of our atmosphere. And what does ozone do? Ozone layer usually protects our Earth, right? How does it protects our Earth? By stopping or by screening the harmful rays of radiations of sun. So when like the ozone layer absorbs these harmful radiations and prevents these rays from entering the Earth's atmosphere. And now you should note that ultraviolet rays, which we are talking about, the harmful ultraviolet radiations are high energy electromagnetic waves emitted by the sun. If it enters the Earth's atmosphere, it can lead to various environmental issues like global warming and also number of health related issues for living organisms. So there are some factors which lead to the destruction, the damage of ozone gas in the ozone layer. And this is low temperatures which increase the level of chlorine and bromine gases in the upper stratosphere. Okay, so what happens? The most important reason for ozone layer depletion is the production of CFC, that is chlorofluorocarbons. You just have to underline, and this leads to almost 80% of total ozone layer depletion. Then we have population, global warming, consumption patterns means how much we use the energy of the fuels, energy, the natural resources are inextricably linked in their collective global warming. Altogether, the excessive use of the resources, altogether the population rise, the global warming, and the excessive use of resources, of natural resources, contributes global environmental impact. And as developing countries' contribution to global emission grows, population size and growth rates will become significant factors magnifying the impacts of global warming. That is, like if it is on rise, then it will really affect the eco-balance. So children, here we have the impacts of global warming. That's what we read, and it's now over here it's given in detail. Glaciers melting and sea level rising. This I had told you. The glaciers are already melting. If the temperature keeps increasing, what will happen? All the glaciers will, what are glaciers? Glaciers are the large pieces of ice. So what will happen? They will continue to melt, and as they melt, the levels of ocean will rise up, and this could flood the areas which are located near the coast. The next is migration of animals. What is migration of animals? When animals grow from one place to another. Obviously, animals will migrate to cooler regions as their old habitats get too warm. Okay, so this could disrupt the food chain. So we already know a particular animal is, already adapted to a certain environment, and its food chain. Food means like food per se, like one species. Like usually prey on the other one. So this food chain gets disrupted, means disturbs, and puts some species in danger of extinction. So if it depends too much on one thing only, so that species might get extinct. Extinct means will not found anymore. So this is one of the dangerous thing. Temperatures also, now scientists suggest that warming will fuel more powerful hurricanes as well as more droughts. Droughts is dry condition and flooding in different parts of the world. If the earth keeps the temperature rises on the earth, there will be powerful hurricanes and droughts, dry conditions on the earth, and flooding also, excessive water around. Okay, so changes in ecosystem is another point. Cold weather biomes such as tundra will shrink. What are biomes? Biomes refer to a large naturally occurring community of flora and fauna. When we talk about flora and fauna, flora means plants and fauna refers to animals. So plants and animals such as tundra will shrink while deserts will continue to expand. So the regions will becoming desert. Okay, tundra regions are very cold regions. Okay, so there will be change in ecosystem. And tundra will shrink over here means the cold areas will melt. Obviously the ice on the cold tundra region will melt and they will become desert. Okay, so desert regions will continue to expand. Then heavier precipitation and flooding. Precipitation refers to the water. Okay, droplets of water. Water occurs in the atmosphere in different forms, like water vapor, okay, like hailstorm, etc., etc. So heavier precipitation and flooding will take place as the temperature increases. More rainfalls would occur during the heaviest downpours, increasing the risk of flooding events. Obviously, one damage, one danger will lead to many more dangers. So if there will be more rainfall, and during the heaviest rainfall, what will happen? There will be floods. Okay, it can also create conditions that lead to more powerful hurricanes and summer storms. And frequency and severity of extreme weather events will increase, such as heat waves. In the near future, precipitation will reduce over subtropical land areas and increase at polar latitudes and equatorial regions. Equatorial regions are very hot, and subtropical latitudes and all these regions will suffer a disturbance. Then changing of seasons will take place. Obviously, it would affect the spring. It will commence sooner than it has been in the past, and this could cause flooding from the reservoirs. Reservoirs, just like dams. Okay, they would get filled up too soon, and droughts where there is not enough precipitation to provide adequate nourishment for crops. Droughts, there will be too much dry condition in those areas where the rainfall hardly occurs. Then another point is that, children, extinction of plant and animal species. You can understand that obviously due to the kind of climatic changes, as most of the animals won't be able to adjust themselves. Imagine this region, okay, where the penguins live, that in that colder regions. So what will happen if they become desert, the dried areas? What will happen? These animals might get extinct. So in the Antarctica, past 30 years have been 32,000 breeding pairs of Adelie penguins lowered to 11,000. So out of 32,000, only 11,000 penguins have been left due to the changes occurring in Antarctica. Now, how can we reduce global warming? Using recyclable products. We can reduce global warming by reducing the use of the plastic waste. You must have heard. Then also we should use recyclable products such as disposables. Okay, people can reduce the waste, which ultimately leads to global warming. People should make an effort to use products that can be used over a period of time. There are methods to recycle certain products such as plastic, glass, aluminum cans, paper, and newspapers. So all these can be recycled. Then purchasing energy efficient products like home energy is one of the biggest causes of global warming. So by avoiding products that come with excessive packages, products that cannot be recycled, and if people save garbage at their houses, people can save large amount of carbon dioxide annually by turning off the heaters. Imagine air conditioners, coolers, when they are not being used in small step with big impact on the global warming. So whenever it is said, you are taught that do not waste electricity, do not waste water. So you should follow all those things, and if we, each one of us, if we become that much responsible to save water and save electricity when not in use, then we can be a help to reduce global warming. Then planting trees, we need to plant more and more trees, because tree plantation is the best way to combat means balance global warming, to meet global warming. So what do? Trees usually, they absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. They also absorb harmful gases emitted from the vehicles. Trees also lower the temperatures. Okay, and what else they do? Trees, they clean the environment, they clean the air. So reducing pollution, when you have traveled to shorter distances, we should try to walk or do cycling. Okay, use cycles, bicycles. Okay, we should save fuel, reduce pollution caused by the vehicles. Now emissions from vehicles, they cause pollution, you already know, and which indirectly leads to global warming. So make less use of vehicles, the four wheelers which uses fuel. Okay, and due to this, the ultraviolet rays and the harmful rays from the sun reaches out to the earth, causing the problem of global warming. And the way to reduce the air pollution caused by the industries into the atmosphere is to use low sulfur fuels instead of fossil fuels. So make less use of fossil fuels and use low sulfur fuels. One of you can underline there. Okay, then strict control on the emission of harmful gases from the industries. That should another point. And also reduction in the use of conventional sources of energy or fossil fuels, such as renewable sources of energy, such as solar energy should be used, tidal energy could be used, biogas, etc. Then reduction in the use of conventional sources of energy and use the renewable. These are all the renewable sources of energy. This would significantly contribute to reducing global warming. So these are the ways how you can reduce global warming. So read the chapter thoroughly and learn the back answers and book exercise. Thank you.